All right. We're going to start out, my buddy Robert Alexander. He's going to start out asking questions. Okay. Rob, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thanks, Lucas. Hi, Will. This is Rob with the Heavy Bag.
How you doing, Rob?
Pretty good, man. I'm going to start out with a few questions we got here, kind of introduce yourself to everybody. First thing I'd like to start off is, for our fans out there, can you give us your full fighter name in your division?
Willpower Rosinsky, super middleweight. For my last fight, light heavyweight, but I'm looking to go down to middleweight, so we'll see what happens. So I'm in between middleweight, super middleweight.
All right, Will, thanks for that. My next question, when you were growing up younger, what did you really want to be first? Did you really want to be a firefighter or a boxer?
Oh, I'm not a firefighter now. I work for EMS, which is on the fire department, because that's the way it works over here. You know what? I didn't want to be either when I was younger. I actually came to both paths along life's journey, to be honest with you. I really, I started boxing a little late. I started boxing when I was about 16. I never really boxed when I was younger. And, same thing with fire. Being on the fire department, I kind of came across it, and it looked like a good opportunity. Boxing, I started fighting, and it gave me some good opportunities, so I stuck with it.
All right. So how do you juggle the two responsibilities? And are you trying to solely focus on one as one career now?
I focus on each of them the same. But when I'm at work, it's all work. When I'm at the gym, it's all about the gym. I try not to bring my job into the boxing, and I don't bring the boxing into my job. So I try to separate the two as much as possible.
And also, what are your personal struggles with the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy?
Personally, I didn't get affected. I didn't get water. I lost some electricity, which is nothing to complain about. Some people lost a lot, lost their houses with all the water damage and things like that. And even some people lost some lives, So I was blessed to luckily nothing to happen to me or my family. Thank God.
That's definitely blessed for that. Let's get into some of your career here. I see that I know that you're 17-2 with 2 controversial decision losses. Do you feel like you're an undefeated fighter?
I wouldn't say I'm undefeated. I thought the Patrick fight was fair. I don't think I can't scream robbery for that fight. I thought the fight was closer than they had it, but it is what it is. It's subjective, so they see it how they see it. The judges are human, I guess. And a Rodriguez fight, on the other hand, to have that fight scored 10-0 times 3 is, even times 1 is ridiculous. But for all judges to see it like that is even more ridiculous. It seems like every time Edwin fights, he has 2 judges in his pocket. So, I think that's not going to help him in his career as he goes forward. It's going to hurt him because he's not going to have the comfort. He has, Glenn Feldman and Clark Sammartino in a lot of his fights that judge him. And they were 2 of the judges for my fight. Of course, I wasn't as aware when I fought him, and we did make a little bit of a stink about the judges before the fight. I was originally told that it was a Rhode Island judge, a Jersey judge, and a Connecticut judge. Now, Rhode Island, Connecticut is still closer to him, although we're close already because he's from Boston. But they're New England states. And then when I actually found out afterwards when I watched the fight that it was actually 2 Rhode Island judges and a Connecticut judge. So, but anyway, besides all that, back to the question. As I said, the Pavlik fight was a decision I should, watching it, even during the fight, I thought he might have edged it. He had a couple good rounds and finished good. So I wouldn't say I'm an undefeated fighter. I can respect that loss. But, as a good fighter, you keep training hard, you go forward.
And so you have seen some elite competition from Pavlik, Rodriguez. Who at the top level, at the elite level of your division, would you like to see?
I don't have nobody personal that I'd want to call out. I would truly fight anybody, and then I'm not just saying it like as a tough guy notion. I'm just saying, if the time is right and the price is right, I'm willing to fight anybody. So I truly don't have my eye on somebody. So for me to give you a name, I'd be lying. So, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
And then my last question for you, since you're a man of great character, is it more important for you to be a great man or a great fighter?
I think, it's more important to be a great man to me. But being a great fighter is definitely something I want to achieve. They run hand in hand. I think having a good character outside the ring will I mean, your skills get you fights, and your skills will get you to the top. But being a good character, being a good man will get you opportunities too. You know, and I just try to stay true. I mean, I'm not gonna put on an act for nothing. And I think you know, people recognize real, and you know, the opportunities will come as long as I have the good character, and I appreciate that you saying that. As long as I have that, and I keep winning, I mean, I don't see why I can't go further.
Oh, definitely. I'm a fan of fighters with character. Most fighters you see, they had it rough growing up in life. They've been exposed to an awful lot. Some of them are, you know, a little flashy, cocky because of it. But the way I was raised,
right.
My father raised me to be a man of a great character first before all. You know, so that's why
absolutely.
For real. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. All right, Rudy, you have some questions for Will?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Will?
What's going on, man?
Pretty much, not much, man. Right here with struggling with this cold weather.
Yeah, it's hard, but you got to deal with it.
you got to put up with it, huh? Well, I got a couple of questions for you. You know, what inspired you to become a pro boxer, and who are your biggest influences?
Well, my biggest influences, I would say my family, my brothers, my mother, my father, my wife. What really, from the beginning, what started was legitimately just to stay in shape. I didn't come from a fighting background. I did some karate when I was younger, but my father wasn't a fighter. I didn't have a grandfather who was a fighter. I didn't start when I was 6 years old like a lot of these guys, you know. It was to stay in shape. I fell in love with the sport. I had a little bit of fight in me from doing karate when I was younger. And I was halfway decent at that, pretty successful as a younger guy. I think just from the success that it brought and the opportunities it gave me, you know, as an amateur, traveling and meeting new people, meeting kids. I mean, a lot of these guys that are fighting now, Danny Garcia, Austin Charo, all the guys that came up with in the amateurs, and I knew them when they were amateurs. And just from meeting guys like that, before I knew they were champions or becoming champions, the opportunities and the exposure like that is what made me stick with it, you know, and you kind of just go day by day.
Yeah, I know you're a professional in the business and all that. I'm pretty sure you watch, you know, boxing on your free time. Are you a fan of any particular boxer out there?
You know, I like Trout. I like Trout a lot. I know I just mentioned him, and I don't know if it's because I know him personally, but I think he's going to be a big problem, and I think he's still new, and a lot of people don't know him a lot yet. I do like him as a fighter a lot, and honestly, I'm a fan of the sport. I mean, I try to tune into all the Showtimes, the HBOs, even the Friday Night Fights, everything, just to see what's out there. The Mayweathers, the Pacquiaos, everyone. You know, I'm a fan of the sport.
Right. So what's your prediction in a possible Trout Canelo fight?
I'm gonna pick Trout. I think he's gonna give him a lot of problems. I do. I know it sounds crazy, but listen. I've been watching Trout 5, 6, 7 years when he was in the amateurs, and I always thought he was great. And he's lefty, he's got the natural height, the speed, and he's strong. He's a strong kid, too, on top of that. And I don't think you even seen him at his best with the Cotto fight. That's my opinion. And I think he's going to give Canelo problems if they take the fight, and Canelo's protected. So I don't know if they're going to take the fight right away.
Yeah, definitely Trout. You know, his style is going to be made to give Canelo, you know, a run for his money. Yeah, and down to my last question. What advice would you give to anyone who's listening, who's like you, that have, you know, a regular 9 to 5 and that want to be a pro boxer? What advice would you give that person?
As I said before, you just got to split it up. You don't bring your work to the gym. You don't bring the gym to work. You keep it separate. You keep training hard. You know, basically that job, for me, this job, I love my job, but boxing, the job inspires me to just keep working hard, so I don't have to work no more. You know, and as I said, I love my job. There's some people that hate their job, but just keep working hard. I would tell everyone to keep working hard, and the opportunities will present themselves. And that's how it is. A lot of guys fall off, or they try to half-ass things, and it's not, you know, that's not the way to go. You got to keep working hard for what they want.
Well, that runs all my questions, and thank you, and you have a good, successful year. Hope to see you soon.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Now, First off, Will, we want to say again thank you for coming on, but I also want to say that I agree completely with you. Trout, Canelo, if that happens, I'd bet my life savings on Trout.
Me too. And you know what it is, too? He's a guy that will give anybody problems. He has those styles that give anybody problems just because he's got that lengthy, awkward style. He can move. He can punch. He's a strong kid. I know people that fought him that he can punch. He's got a lot going, and I think it's going to take a a lot for somebody to beat him, and it's going to make for an awkward fight for anybody.
I agree. Yeah, he's tall and he knows how to use his range. Like Paul Williams didn't use his range, but then again, he didn't have to. You know, you kind of accepted the loss to Pavlik, and I'm sorry, I kind of have to disagree with you there. I mean, I was watching it. I thought you were way closer, if not possibly a draw, depending. But
right, no, and I that's like, well, you know what it is? In comparison to my two losses, I guess I feel I could accept that more. I think that's what it is, you know. And I'm not. I don't want to be a guy that says, oh, I'm 17-2, but you got to see my two losses. I got robbed. You know, I don't like crying robbery. I mean, he is Pavlik. You know, the closer rounds did go to him, and as I said, I didn't think it was that much of a spread. You know, like 8 rounds to 2 or 9 rounds to 1. You know, getting dropped in the second round didn't help the score either. Although that doesn't. You know, it shouldn't reflect the whole fight, but I guess, like I said, I think it was just a comparison thing. And if you compare my fight with Pavlik, and my fight with Edwin, to see that fight 10-0, I think I just can't wrap my brain around that. But It is what it is. I'll get my time. I'll get my rematch sooner or later, even if it's in 20 years when we're both old.
That's what I was about to ask you next. I mean, did you want a rematch with Pavlik?
I mean, yeah, why not? Try to redeem that loss, of course. But the real rematch is with Edwin. And as I've said in the past, he's moving on. He's fighting less opposition for more money. So there's really no reason for them to fight me from a business standpoint. On a pride issue, if I was him, I'd want to fight me because a lot of people talk about it. Besides me, you know, everyone. If you go anywhere, people know me just because of that fight. Like, oh, you're the kid that got robbed with that kid on Showtime, you know, like people that don't really know boxing.
Yeah, that was definitely robbery. Also, take a look into it. I mean, I know they asked you a couple of questions also about, you know, your day job, but I mean, have you ever contemplated quitting, trying to, you know, take on boxing full time to focus more on training, or does it get in the way?
Well, it doesn't really get in the way. I do make time for it, you know, because I have a good schedule. I do work 2 to 10 at night, so I do make time for it. I really never contemplated quitting my job, and the main reason is because I guess the benefits, the pension and stuff. I mean, of course, if I make a huge fight and make millions of dollars, a pension and benefits doesn't mean nothing because I'll have the money to pay for that anyway. But you know, unfortunately, life nothing's guaranteed, so it's hard. It's hard for me to turn away from something that's guaranteed for longevity and just put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, for something that is a hit or miss. You know, I could fight a guy. I mean, my last fight wasn't my best fight 2 weeks ago. I won the fight. Wasn't my best fight against a guy that wasn't that good. It was a bad day, and in boxing and anything, you have those days. So, you know, you can have a bad day and it can ruin everything. You know, with my job, I can have a bad day, but I suck it up and keep going to the next day. It's not going to ruin the rest of my life.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's what we're here for. We want to help you because, like I said, you're kind of like a people's champion, a Rocky of sorts. And you know, we appreciate you coming on. But we're gonna actually write up an article and everything. We're gonna help you out here so we can get you a rematch.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'm with it. My job will give me time off. Fire department's good, man. I mean, I'll take my time off to make sure I train 1,000% for that. Oh, I did the first time anyway. I train off for that fight.
Yeah, it's not easy to get on the fire department. I actually try that here, but we definitely appreciate you coming on, buddy. And I'm actually going to be texting you here in a little bit just to give you some more information. Actually get your address. We might end up sending you some heavy bag gear. So just get a little bit more stuff for you. But do you guys have any other questions for Will?
No, man. Like I said, great talking to you. You definitely, even after talking to you now, you definitely sound like a man of great character. And hey, not too many fighters out there will admit when they had a bad out.
What, do you say that again?
There's not too many fighters out there who would admit when they had a bad out.
Oh, man, that's just reality. I have nothing to prove to nobody. You know, it's reality. I mean, again, I won the fight, but as I said, it wasn't my best fight. I fought a guy that I should have beat easy, and you know, things happened. I got cut the first round. I was all discombobulated from that, and I was frustrated. And it was just a lot of emotions at once. I had a bad day. I won, so I'm happy, but you know, you got to move forward.
Well, man, you definitely got more respect for me, for real.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate all that good comments. I really do.
We appreciate you coming out, Will, and we'll be talking to you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Lou. Thank you. Thanks, guys.